Hey everybody, off the mic Sports Network here. So game two of the Western Conference Finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder are up 2-0. They win 118-103 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota, played a pretty valiant game. They just can't hit shots, man. And Oklahoma City, my God, these guys are a fucking wagon. And if they keep playing like this, I don't care if it's Indiana or New York. I think actually Indiana, despite it not being a very box office and flashy matchup, that would actually be a really interesting NBA Finals. The more I think about it, just because of the way Indiana plays, their depth, I think really matches up well. Their youth, their athleticism, like I think a lot of it would be a compelling matchup. The Knicks, because they basically play like 7, 8 guys. I think that the Oklahoma City might wear them out. But man, the narrative around the first game was really about SGA and his foul baiting. This was more of what Oklahoma City and why they're the best team in the NBA and why I think that I think they're going to walk their way to the NBA championship. If provided they're healthy and provided that they play the way that they keep playing, I just don't see another team beating them 4 times out of 7 games. And at this point, I think Minnesota would be lucky to get one. This could very well be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. I just don't see a scenario where Oklahoma City's losing more than one game in this series. Like, God bless Minnesota, God bless Anthony Edwards. It's a mismatch. It is an epic mismatch of talent. And when you look at these numbers, this is why I say that Oklahoma City is clearly the best team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander obviously gets all the headlines. Yes, he has 15 free throws, but he was fouled, and it was a well-played game by him. He played 42 minutes. It felt like he was off the floor for a large chunk of the game. Goes for 38 points and 8 assists. Like, he was unbelievable on the same night that he gets the MVP trophy in front of his fans. Chet Holmgren, as my sister calls him, Beanpole, who is just a freaking twig. He was outstanding in this game. Played very physical, was attacking. 22 points for him. Yes, he only had 4 rebounds as a 7-footer, which is another separate thing that we need to talk about. 8 of 17 from the floor. He was outstanding in this game. Jalen Williams, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. And he is, in the last 3 games, just proven why he is really as good of a player, and just makes this team. He's just. I'm not going to say he's as important as the MVP, but he's damn valuable. I'll tell you that. But yeah, he goes for 26, 12 of 20 from the floor, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, he was terrific. I mean, for God's sake, Anthony Edwards played outstanding in this game, but nobody else showed up. Jaden McDaniels had some points, like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I guess, was inspired by his cousin. Played probably one of his best games in the playoffs for the Timberwolves. But in the end, it wasn't enough. The Thunder won by 15. Like, this was probably a more competitive game than game 1, and the Thunder still won by double digits. Like, this is a historically great basketball team, and when you watch them play, they defend as a group. It's not one of those classic, teams that has the MVP star. There are dudes everywhere for this team, like Cason Wallace, Wiggins, Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso. Like, there's so many dudes on this team, and it's just like the one knock that they've had is they're so effing young. And just watching this team play through this entire game, through that whole, they got punched in the throat. They got kicked in the nuts a couple of times in that series against Denver, and they just fought back. It's why I think, like, even if the Cleveland Cavaliers were somehow able to get past Indiana, I don't think they would have beaten this team. I don't think anybody in the NBA has a hope in hell of beating this team 4 times out of 7 games. I just don't. This was like, game 1 pissed me off because there was a lot of, just weird fouls, and, the level of physicality on both ends, like, was not officiated. This was a much better played game and a much better officiated game. I can't even believe I'm saying that, considering Scott Foster and Tony Brothers were on the. This was actually not as difficult of a watch as, the first game was. And Oklahoma City still housed the Timberwolves. Like, this is your Western Conference Finals. And it has not even been close in the first 2 games. Some people had Minnesota winning this series. I thought that was a little ambitious, but you watch this Oklahoma City team, even as much as the fans may annoy you, even as much as SGA's play, this is a special, special basketball team. Really is. And I gotta tip my cap to them, man. I really do. And I don't think it matters if New York wins and comes back from that loss. Like I said, I think Indiana would actually give Oklahoma City a better series. They would. So listen, all I'm hoping for is good basketball games. But if the Thunder keep playing like this is going to be a whitewash. This is going to be like Boston last year. This is going to be like Denver the year before. And yes, we've gotten parity in the league, but there is still a superior and just team in the class above everybody else, and it's the Thunder. And if they win this, I'm scared that we might actually have a dynasty because they're built and they have young stars that are not under contract. And yeah, Shea's going to get his money, but who knows? He seems like a very selfless guy. He may take a pay cut. The Thunder are coming, man. And it's amazing what they've been able to build. And this is just, it feels almost like a coronation. It's almost like a delayed coronation. So if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, you got to be thrilled with watching this basketball team because it's like, it's just really just, it's really beautiful basketball, especially considering, the way they play defense, the young stars, and just like, it's like I said, take out the foul baiting from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and there's really no flaws in this team. There isn't. There really is not, outside of youth and that foul baiting. So credit to Mark Dagnall, credit to Sam Presti, credit to all those guys on that team. I think they're going to win the championship. I don't know if they're going to lose a game in this series. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's the Knicks or the Pacers. I think this is just, I think we're just window dressing at this point. So Thunder are going to win the championship. I think everybody's known that, but we've been trying to deny it for so many weeks and months. This was as good of an indication as anybody. I don't think they're losing anything. I don't think they're losing the championship this year. They'll be holding the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June. Anyway, thanks so much. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.